Welcome, ladies and to another edition of Wrestling Talks and Goats. I don't know what the heck is going on with this daggone live, yo. It was like I had this in the back room, and as soon as it turned 8 o'clock, it just like put us up. I was sitting there eating my cupcakes, man. Them cupcakes were delicious. Chanel made some cupcakes, and my God, those cupcakes were delicious.
That's what's up.
Anyway,
That's what's up.
thank you guys for joining us for another edition of Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. I am your host, Saheem the Dream.
And it's your boy J Mac Mizzle, J Mac Main in the building, the protege. You already know.
J Mac Main. Time to bring the pain. We got some things to discuss, man. We got some stuff.
Yeah, we do.
We got some stuff to talk about, man. So trending topics. Trending topics right now. We have CM Punk being fired from AEW.
Well, and he didn't want us to touch about CM Punk. He said he wants to cover CM Punk tomorrow.
He was going to see CM Punk tomorrow. All right. Okay. All right.
But Henry did say he wanted to come on and promote his show today also.
Okay. Can you send him the link?
I sent it to him.
Okay, cool. All right. Henry, whenever you're ready to come on, let us know. If you're in the back room, just when you come in, drop a comment and message us, and we'll let you come on. Gunther is on the road to breaking Honky Tonk's 30-year record.
35-year.
I'm sorry, 35-year record
Mm-hmm.
that has been holding the Intercontinental title hostage. Thanks to yours truly, Vince McMahon, right? And you know, we talk Monday Night Raw.
But it's kind of hard for somebody to say like hold it to think that streak that record's been upheld for 35 years is insane. But at the same time, the Intercontinental title is the workhorse championship, so people typically hold the Intercontinental title a couple months or so. But for Gunther to have it as over a year now, that's crazy.
It absolutely is, and especially when you had Vince McMahon playing hot potato with all the titles,
Right.
He wasn't giving people he would give certain people lengthy reigns, but as far as them exceeding past 8 months or 9 months, that's when it came to a halt, and he would just take the title away from them. Don't know why. Probably, I guess my assumption would be he felt like he wanted other stars to get opportunity, or he wanted to try the belt on other superstars to see exactly how it would fit with them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know why. But anyway, but Triple H has broken this curse of us having these short reigns, starting with Roman Reigns. I'm quite sure he wants to do the same thing with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is another topic that we need to get into as far as just his back injury or the injury or nagging injury that plagues him as a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as the length of how far he'll go holding the world championship, because my assumption is they plan to have the belt on him for a while.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. Starting with Raw. Anything on Raw that caught your eye besides Gunther versus Gable having a 5-star match, in my opinion?
That match was fire. It was sad that his daughters was literally crying. At the end of the match, it's like, Dad, like it's those are legit tears, ladies and gentlemen. Those weren't fake. Those weren't storyline. Those weren't edited. Those are real tears that their daddy got beat up and Gunther was like in front of
have to come to an episode of Monday Night Raw and watch their father get demolished, attempting to take the belt off of Gunther. He tried to kill Gunther tried to kill Gable at the end of that match.
His last three move combo that
was I was like, he's trying to kill this guy. Like when he did that, I was like, no, it's a wrap, it's over. he tried. So during the match, if you guys watched it, I'm not sure if you guys watched it or not, but if you guys didn't catch Gunther versus Chad Gable, I would definitely suggest you guys go and check out that match on Monday Night Raw. In my opinion, a 5-star match is one of those Monday Night Raw matches that made me fall in love with the likes of Chris Benoit's wrestling, Kurt Angle's wrestling, Chris Jericho's wrestling, especially when all three of those guys are feuding against each other. It was
Right.
one of those kind of feels. Gunther kept trying to and here and the big bad booty daddy's in the house. He said, "I'm back for the fourth between y'all and Dynamite." All right, cool.
We kept our promise. We're not gonna touch base on Punk. We're gonna let you, you know what I'm saying, cover that tomorrow.
Right, we're gonna get into that tomorrow because there's some things we need to discuss. But there is one thing I do need to discuss about Punk. We're not going to go too deep in the whole situation that happened backstage. We'll talk about that tomorrow, but we'll just talk about one particular topic involving Punk, and it's not nothing big, but we can still talk about it. But it's nothing like really that covers too much. Oh yeah, so toward the end of the match, when after they've gone through like their flurries of moves and whatever, and anyway, toward the end, at the end of the match, Gunther kept trying to attempt the sleeper hold. He put it on Gable. He had Gable in a sleeper hold, rear naked choke hold, and Gable was able to break out of it. But then he caught him again in a rear naked choke hold. But he figured this time he would try. Gunther would try something different because he was noticing that it wasn't working. So then Gunther puts Chad Gable in a rear naked suplex, chokehold suplex. Looked like he slammed him on his neck.
Yeah.
Then after that, he rolled him up. Yeah, he power bombed. Right, he power bombed him. After he caught him with the suplex, picked him up, power bombed him, flipped him up, back on his feet. And when he got on his feet, he gave him the lariat, one of the meanest lariats I've ever seen. And then he pinned him. It was over. I mean, he tried to kill him. Shout out to main event Jey Uso. The Bloodline story has leaked its way onto Raw, and Ant says Raw needs the ratings.
Yeah, I agree. Now it's interesting to see, and I guess we can touch base on Payback as well. But Trav, main event Trav, made a very, very valid point, and it's actually one of the best points Travis said in a while that I agree with. So back when Jey Uso was talking to Adam Pearce is like, SmackDown is gonna want trade compensation for you because and it's gonna probably make some people mad. Now I think also, so Travis stated that Kevin Owens might be the one traded to SmackDown. Now that would make sense because obviously a lot of people don't like him, and that's Sami Zayn's friend. You know what I'm saying? So now Sami Zayn's friend gets traded to SmackDown away from him. You know what I'm saying? Sami Zayn might feel the type of way. You know what I'm saying? But now here's my other thing. How is it a trade if Jay quit? So technically that should have been a free agent pickup.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not understanding that aspect of it, but
I think it's going to be Cody.
I don't think so.
Reason, I mean, I could be wrong. I'm actually in my mind, I'm vouching for Cody. Reason being is because that way they can start to build his feud with Roman, because WrestleMania is about 6 months away, 5 months away.
What we in September, October, November, December, January, February, March, about 6.5.
6.5, yeah. I mean, and then the only other way you're going to get Cody to go against Roman is if he wins the Royal Rumble. He made 2-peat, so I mean, which I don't mind. I don't mind. Ant says Gunther turned into a true heel last night. I'm not going to lie, having Gable's daughter there was crazy. He says, I think SmackDown is going to take Kevin Owens from Raw.
I think so too. It would make more sense.
And then he says it makes sense for Cody to be traded to SmackDown so he can continue his damn story and close his book on this boring ass story. You know what? The reason why I think it's going to be Cody, because remember, Cody came out. He said, I brokered a deal to get a hot free agent over on Raw, and he said he negotiated. He said that in the pay-per-view of Payback, and he got Jay. So what was it that was said in order to get Jay to come over? Like, yeah, Jay left, but then Adam Pearce says that there's a trade, and like there's a trade there. Like there has to be somebody else that they need to swap out as far as who's going to be taking the role of Jay
right?
Uso's place on SmackDown.
But
So
if Cody goes to SmackDown, who's that gonna upset? It's not really gonna upset anybody.
right, I mean, oh, so you're saying that like if there has to be some kind of turmoil if somebody
Yeah,
leaves SmackDown?
because remember
I mean,
Adam
Raw?
Cole said whoever gets traded, you know what I'm saying, whoever goes to SmackDown may, it may upset some people, and Cody getting traded is not gonna upset anybody really. You know what I'm saying? So I think Kevin Owens would have a bigger impact, for more so Sammy, because Sammy's like, all right, well, it's either you or, because that storyline could be like, hey, I lost my friend, you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
to be here. So now, you know what I'm saying, you got to now it's like, make sure you don't do nothing to regret this or make me regret it.
I agree with the fact that, well, let me not say agree. I say that it's a great idea to have Kevin Owens go over to SmackDown and have Jay on uh Monday Night Raw with Sami Zayn so they can rebuild their relationship. So versus the Kevin and Sammy dynamic, you have the Jay and Sammy dynamic.
Right.
Uh Ant says they might have traded him for Duke the Dumpster Brody.
Oh,
Who the
Joe,
hell is that?
Duke
Brody
the
Lee?
Dumpster Josie.
Who?
Duke the Dumpster Josie. Remember that old character, way before in the golden era, the guy who's coming with the dumpster with the with the overall.
Let me look this guy up. Duke the
Duke the
Dumpster.
Dumpster Josie. He was in the era with Brooklyn Brawler and Mantar. Um,
Man, dog.
back in back when WWE Superstars was on Saturdays at Saturday afternoons. Yeah,
Right. So
I
I'm
think
curious. I'm curious, Jay. I'm curious, Jay. Who was Mantar again?
Mantar was Aldo Montoya, the Portuguese man of war. No. Mantar was another. No, matter of fact, Mantar was different. Mantar was this big, sloppy looking guy that wore this um, unicorn kind of mask. So Mantar was the big, sloppy one.
So what was he supposed to be?
I don't know. I think this was like, hey, you're a wrestler. Put this helmet on. But I know he had like the demolition kind of outfit. He was real sloppy and I think he wore all gray, like gray tights, and yeah, it was disgusting.
So Duke the Dumpster Brody. Let me see. I'm gonna share the screen. Duke the Dumpster Brody. This guy.
Yep, Duke the Dumpster Josie. Now, what I was saying yesterday. Now, to lead to the point that you had stated, I think you had stated, and you was like, it's gonna, no, matter of fact, I think my other boy stated it's leading to Survivor Series. Um, uh, so I can see, yeah, yeah, he was. Well,
I knew who Mantar was. I was trying to get you to go into more depth as to what he was supposed to be.
I
He's
don't even.
supposed to be like what's it called? A Minotaur? Minotaur? What do they call a Minotaur? It's not
But
what they.
now, so imagine. Of course, they would have to add more people to it, right?
Yeah.
But War Games this year, Survivor Series.
Mhm.
You got the Bloodline, Roman, Jimmy, and Solo. And of course, they had to get two more people who was going to buy into them. And on the Raw side, you got Jay, you got Cody, and
Yeah.
then you have Seth. And of
Yeah.
course, Sammy would have to be added in there somewhat if he's not still feuding with Judgment Day by then.
I ain't gonna lie. This this war games definitely could be lit right now
Right.
because they could have I would say Judgment Day But I mean,
Yes,
the
today
two
versus
the two weakest
Carolina.
the two weakest links is like Dominic and what's the other guy?
Paul.
Oh, oh, no, no, no. I'm talking about Judgment Day, Paul.
Oh, nah. Well, I thought it was about Paul Heyman.
No, no,
Um,
no, not
I,
Judgment Day.
um,
Like, cause you
only
got
only weak link they have is Dom. Like JD McDonough is can hold his own.
yeah,
Um,
Jada. I mean, but if you're talking about the bloodline, like if they went against the bloodline,
huh?
if they went against the bloodline,
Well, yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
you have
so
Rome,
speak.
you have Roman, Jimmy, Solo Sokoa, and then who will be the fourth member?
That's what I'm saying. Like they would need like one more. That somebody that who would have to like buy into unless they bring up one of the other cousins. Oh, but while we're on topic of Judgment Day,
Yep.
somebody wanted me to tell you
Hmm.
and say
Yeah.
after watching Raw, do you
Hmm.
still not believe that Rhea is the leader of Judgment Day?
No. Oh God. Here we go. There you go. Oh God, she's the leader now. She's the leader. Okay. She wait. Hold on a second. Wait. Before I address this anonymous person and this other anonymous person back here is sitting there shouting out in agreement. uh Ant real quick, he said, I think this is going to lead into he says, I think this is going to lead into right where it is right where it all started right where it all started back in NXT Black and Gold, where Kevin ends up turning on Sammy once again, but this time it's doesn't trust Jey Uso.
Well, yeah.
He says Manticore is a Portuguese bullfighter. Oh, he's supposed to be a bull man.
Then on top of that, KO turned to all his friends. So I mean, what makes Sammy different?
Well, you think Kevin turns on all his friends, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. He turns on all his friends. He turned on Jericho. He turned on Sami Zayn 3 times. I
Yeah,
mean,
right. He turned on
New Day.
Seth Rollins. Who else?
Rollins.
The New Day. Yeah, the New Day. So anytime that Kevin Owens has a best friend, yeah.
Yeah, he turned on New Day to get a title shot at Kofi. Yeah, that's Kevin. Yeah. So to address this whole Rhea Ripley thing, right? There's certain subtle details you guys missed. You missed one detail in particular, right? So after Rhea Ripley was coercing her simp Dominic Mysterio to do her bidding, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course Dominic Mysterio at his simplistic best did what Rhea was saying, catering to his mommy, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you notice, when Dominic went to approach Jey Uso, he says, Jay, I know you know what it's like to be in a group of people who have a leader and they're like a toxic leader or something like that. And he says, but in a judgment day, we don't have a leader. We function together as a group. As going back to my point about the reason why Edge was kicked out. That whole principle does not remain. If Rhea in some capacity feels like or starts they in some capacity feel like Rhea is becoming like this alpha person, that's a problem for Judgment Day. It's a problem because that's not what the collective was about. It's about just like JD McDonough. Like JD McDonough couldn't just go in a group or be invited in a group because Finn Balor said okay, even though Finn Balor is somewhat like the unofficial leader, because that's who they kicked out Edge for, right?
Mm-hmm.
He could just bring them in. They all had to agree that he comes into the group.
Yeah, of course.
Versus you have like what's the group? What's the group? Geez, the Undisputed Era, right?
Mm-hmm.
Undisputed Era was a solid group when they when what's the guy name
Kyle O'Reilly.
right? He wanted to invite Finn into the group. He brought him in. Adam Cole wasn't feeling it. What did he do? He kicked Finn in the face. You know what I'm saying? And then the group, that was it. That was the end of. That's the last time you've seen Undisputed Era together. They, I mean, in WWE. You
Right.
know, so
Here's my defense for the women. So I kind of feel that it is, and I explain why I feel that it is. So
Please,
again,
Jay.
2 weeks
Please tell
ago,
us why.
remember last week when Rhea was like, "Yo, if y'all don't bring back gold to the bloodline, there's gonna be changes.
Mhm.
Only a leader can make statements like that." Then when they was in the ring, you know
Mhm.
what I'm saying, Rhea was like, "Yo, what's bothering me is, you know what I'm saying, everybody, Finn thanked everybody was like that, and Rhea was like, the thing that's bothering me is the fact that everybody, you know what I'm saying, we dominated Backlash, but everybody's talking about Jey Uso. You know what I'm saying? Something a leader would step up and say, "Hey, this is the problem." Now, when they was all backstage and everybody was talking, and you know, what I'm saying, they was trying to bring JD. They Rhea was like, "Yo, y'all know what to do," and they walked off. And Don was about to get up. She was like, "No, you know what you got to do." And we'll talk about the other thing later. And he walked off, and she sat there like a boss. Like little subtle things. Like I said, they're not supposed to have a leader, but little subtle things shows that she's kind of in charge of, you know what I'm saying, the group.
Or that she's trying to be in charge.
Or that could be it too. But I mean, like they respond to her. So
I mean, honestly, truth be told, I mean, I've noticed it too. I've noticed um her demands or her comments or her trying to take up an initiative of trying to separate herself from the drama and be the person who is the mediator in between that so that she can be seen as the more rational one or the one with more direction. Real quick before we continue on, and says, but we all seen Rhea take control of that group. Why you think they call her mommy? Um,
good point, and that's
and
a real good point.
and says, actually Dom calls her mommy, but I guess they want to call her mommy too.
They all call her mommy.
God, oh God. They kicked out Edge because he was running on E and they had to make a choice. That's not why they kicked him out. We know why he kicked him out. He kicked him out because he was supposed to be the leader. And they said it on many occasions. Judgment Day has no leader. We roll together as a group. Da 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 da. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
They
but
said this many
one
times.
thing,
They said even if I mean if you guys like even if you want to, you can go back and look at the old footage of Monday Night Raw where they stood in the ring and they explained why they kicked out Edge, and they'll explain it. They say, but nonetheless, I do see what you guys are saying, and I agree. I agree that Rhea Ripley is taking up some or trying to take up some level of control of leadership. However, again, the fact of the matter is that we don't know what this is going to lead to, because this could lead to, because again, eventually we don't know how Finn is going to leave, because we know they're supposed to be setting up Finn to leave. We don't know how Finn is going to leave. We don't know how Damian Priest is going to break away, or how they're going to work in Damian Priest potentially winning the world heavyweight title. And what are their plans with that? Um, so, and then if he wins the world title, what does that mean for the group? Does that mean that Damian Priest now becomes the new leader? You know, because
no,
he's the world champion.
no. And that's the thing. I don't think. I can't see Priest as heavyweight champ. Like I honestly feel like he's gonna cash in and lose. I really don't see him as world champion. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the group. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not even the he's the third in command. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you go down the chain, so for him to try to now be the leader and let everybody listen to him, so yeah, I honestly see Priest cashing in and losing unless he cash in on a Gunther or somebody like that.
I mean, honestly, I don't really see. I really see Rhea Ripley as like third in command.
Really?
Yeah,
Nah.
I mean, the first person that was a part of Judgment Day is Damian Priest.
Okay.
They kicked out Edge for Finn Balor to
It
be
is.
the person that guides them, who's like the unofficial leader, right? And then Rhea Ripley, it was like, even though Rhea Ripley was like the second member, you know what I'm saying? It was like, but as her place has now become a lot more prominent. I mean,
But if
I
you,
mean, because honestly, like the people who've been more, I mean, the person who's been like the most vocal about what they want as far as what need to change has been Damian Priest, and Rhea. They've been the most vocal about this is what they want. This is what has to happen. This is what they don't like. Yada 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 yada. And then Finn has been having to dispute with Damian Priest not, sticking to the plans. And
Mm-hmm.
he's been having an issue with him, like, okay, why do you keep going sideways from a plan? We said we agreed to this. You keep deciding to do the other thing. Like, what are you doing? Like, don't come out and interrupt the match. Don't. I see that you need it. No, don't mess up the plan. You know what I'm saying? He's a person. So I mean, I can say that Finn was the leader because he made a plan and they had to obey a plan. But nonetheless, I mean, I guess he's the third wheel. I don't know, Jay. I agree with you. Maybe he is. Okay, maybe he is. But I never really seen like who like I never seen one person that I don't know. I never really seen him as a third leader or the third person in command, really, because Damian Priest have made has said like this is what we're gonna do, da 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 da, or this is what we should do, and they did it. They did it as a collective. So, well, this is what I do see, right? I definitely see as to the money in the bank briefcase situation. I definitely see um they're not going to hold the tag titles long because them winning the tag titles sets up Damian Priest for cashing in his money in the bank briefcase and how he's going to lose it. That sets it up because it's almost the end of the year. It's almost the end of the year,
But no,
and
he's still no. He has until when is Money Bank? June. He has until June to cash in.
June of next year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. So okay, so he has some time. So however they lose the titles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be because Finn got pinned, because they kind of like trying to build on Priest because Priest has not really been getting pinned in their tag matches. It's always been Finn.
Right.
However they lose, it's probably going to be on Finn, right? That's going to cause some dispute between Damian and Finn, right? Then Damian's like, forget this. I don't need your help. It's because of you. Because you know what's going to happen. They're going to have the tag belts. They're going to have the tag matches. They're going to do well. But then toward the end of their reign, they're going to start. They're going to like have a. They're going to feud with somebody. We don't know who it is. They're going to feud with somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they're gonna lose exhibition matches, but when it comes to a title match, they're gonna probably hold on to the titles, but then kind of like it's gonna get a little rocky. Then they're gonna win an exhibition, they're gonna win a title match, retain, and then what's gonna happen is they're gonna wind up losing a match. They're gonna lose a match. It's gonna be because of Finn. Damien's gonna get mad. It's gonna be some kind of issue between him and Damien. And then when Damien tries to cash it in, that's when JD McDonough and Finn spoil those plans. And I think when Finn does it, it's gonna be like an in your face kind of situation. Like, yeah, I did it. So what? Kind of situation. And I think that's when they're gonna run the feud. Judgment Day is gonna be like done because they're gonna run this. They're gonna run this up until maybe next year, or they really will allow Damian Priest to cash in, or he's gonna probably try to cash in, and he probably loses the briefcase cash in, um, while they still hold the tag titles. However they finagle the situation. But that's kind of how I see what could potentially happen as far as losing the belt.
I can see that.
Um,
I just don't see Damien cashing in successfully yet. I don't see it yet.
I don't see him as a champion at all. They were high on him because he did the whole Bad Bunny thing.
Right.
And I tell you what, Damian Priest is like he's like a he was like a safe choice because just because a person wins Money in the Bank doesn't always guarantee a victory.
Absolutely
You
not.
know, and they definitely proved that with the likes of John Cena being the first person to never cash in,
Damien Sandow,
um, Damian Sandow being the second,
Baron Corbin.
um, Baron Corbin, uh, Austin Theory. Um, those are the only people, right, that cashed in.
I think so.
However, Jack Swagger got to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase. Ask me why. I don't know.
But,
Should he had cashed in? No,
but
he shouldn't have.
I do want to say that Steel City Street Fight was the best match at Payback. Like
It
they
wa-
literally stole the show.
I would
Even
have to
though
say
Sammy and Kevin got jumped, but
they did. They did. It was definitely a great match. I really enjoyed. I watch when I watched Shinsuke and Seth first time. I was like halfway in it because I was halfway in it. I was just really concerned if uh if Shinsuke would win, and then I went. I watched the match again. It was really good. I really liked Seth and Shinsuke. That was really a good match. They had a really great match last on at Payback. The best match at Payback wasn't the Steel Street match. Which one was it? And
yeah, that's a good question. And I don't know what match you gonna say top that. He better not say LA Knight and Miz.
no,
I
please don't.
he better not, he better not say that match. Um, but yeah, what else? Now I'm interested to see. I'm interested, but I hate. I hope it don't happen. But looks like Shayna and um, Zoe Stark's about to have this mutual respect partnership, and I don't want to see Shayna in another tag team. Like I'm sick of it.
I don't. They need to start building her. What they need to start doing is making her go dark. And yeah, they need to they need to they need to make her go dark and bring Shayna back to the Queen of Spades. She beat Zoe Stark. She choked out, which is cool. I was happy that she did. I'm like, she better not lose. I'm like, she beat Ronda Rousey. Give her the momentum. I felt like they were going to build on her momentum, but I realized that the reason why she wasn't on Monday Night Raw is probably because they had a healing from an injury because her eye was really like black. She got a real
Right.
black eye from
I
Ronda.
mean, yeah, she beat Zoe Stark the very next day. Um, you
Yeah,
know,
she did. Right, she did.
so you know what I'm saying. So like then this is the second time she beat her. So
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I feel like they're kind of like slowly pushing her to eventually now Shayna and Rhea. That might be something.
right. But what and you know what's so funny? I thought about that, but what they need to do or what they should do is build up Shayna because again, even though Shayna is built up, she beat Ronda Rousey. You know, they have to build on her. And I want me personally, what I want for Shayna is I want Shayna to go in that match against Rhea and win. I don't want Shayna to go in that match and then have a good match and then Shayna just and then Rhea Ripley just like wins. I mean, if she wins because of Dom, if Rhea wins because of Dom, it's like, all right, but um, they need to. But again, this is one of those situations with Shayna where it's like yo, because Triple H, as we've been seeing, has been like kind of correcting all the wrongs and kind of making and enhancing the show itself, making things a lot better, booking the right type of matches. You know, again, if you would have said about 2 years ago that Chad Gable and um Walter, who's now Gunther, would have damn near close to a 5-star match on Monday Night Raw. If you would have said that out loud, a lot of people wouldn't believe you. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people would be like, nah, I don't know. I can't see him having a star. Some people who see his talent would have said, I could see that. You know what I'm saying? Like I was always a Chad Gable fan. Like not always, but I'm sorry. I became a Chad Gable fan when I started to see like how good he was in a ring like about 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, oh, this guy's really good. Like they need to really do a lot with do more with him.
Yeah, but
Um
even outside of that, even to sit here and say that Chad Gable will main event Raw, you'd be like, Shorty G? Nah. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it was crazy. Like, um, yeah, like you said, true. And see, the thing about it is Triple H is, I mean, he's younger than Vince, obviously, so he's more in tune to, you know what I'm saying, what's what. He's open to, you know what I'm saying, all right, well, let's try this, or you know, saying, or the you know, this would work, or I seen this guy's work ethic. I think he can pull it off. Instead of Vince is like had that old school mindset, like I need a big guy to dominate. I need a if you're not big, you're not 6'5", 6'6", 200 and some pounds. You know, you're not saying chiseled. It's like no, it will never work. Nobody will ever believe it. But I mean, Triple H is like no, no. I mean, hey, we're not gonna let Chad Gable win. But if he put on, I mean, hell, look at matches that honestly, all the matches that Gunther has had, or even Gunther slash Walter has had with smaller guys, have been like fire matches.
Right.
Is borderline, but the match he had with Ilya Dragunov, fire. The match he had with Pete Dunne or Butch, fire. The match he had with
Matt Riddle. The matches he had with Riddle was pretty dope. He had some dope matches with Riddle.
even I can't think of his name. The guy with the guy who the inaugural the NXT UK champion. I can't think of his name.
I know you're talking about the first one, right?
Yeah,
him
and Gunther, a fire match.
I know his name.
But yeah, so like and the matches that and mind you, those are all Triple H's booking. You know what I'm saying? So it's just so like I said, Triple H believes, you know what I'm saying, like, hey, you can make it believable, like, all right, this small guy can actually hold it down and have a great 5-star match. Because on paper, you're like Gunther versus Chad Gable, why is the main event? Now, one thing that Tyler Bate, there you go, Aunt Tyler Bate. But now what I was looking at closely yesterday was when they were mentioning all the Intercontinental champions. I'm like, yo, if they don't mention Brett.
Right. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, yo, if they do not show, if they do not show Bret Hart, there's a problem. There's a major problem.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, and I see how they went from like certain eras, but I'm like, yo, if they don't highlight Brett in this,
Bret to hit me hard, word.
I'm gonna have an issue.
Word, because he's listed as one of the greatest IC champions.
Right.
And it says Shinsuke and Seth tore the house down. And he also says, I actually think Seth and Shinsuke need to carry this feud on for the next 2 PLE events.
Well, it's crazy. There is going to be 2 consecutive. I think they mentioned Fastlane. No. Matter of fact, I think No Mercy is NXT.
So we have a pay-per-view this Saturday.
Is it NXT?
Yeah, it's not an NXT. It's an indie show. Not an indie show. It's not an indie show, but they're going to be in India or Dubai.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, let me see.
I seen it earlier today. Right, Ant? Should be a WWE event this Saturday.
Nah, they've been promoting. I don't think it's this weekend.
It's not?
I don't think so. Let me see. Because I know they said something about, let me see, this one. All right, so we passed that. Oh, okay. NXT No Mercy is okay. So that's what. So No Mercy is September 30th, and then Fastlane is September 7th.
Okay.
Crown Jewel is November 4th, and then the Survivor Series is November 25th. So we got a couple months before Crown Jewel.
And I'm not going to accept this level of blasphemy from you. Okay, I will not accept this. This is slow down, Ant. Slow down. Okay, slow down. All right. Bret Hart got to be the worst IC title champion.
Oh, wait a minute. WWE Superstar Spectacle. That is September. That is a Saturday. Wait, hold on.
You said okay. Yeah, that's Friday. It's Friday.
Yeah, Superstar. What the hell is that?
Yeah, they're supposed to be doing an event.
Spectacle.
So, Ant, name. You said so. Tomorrow's Thursday. Yep, Friday.
Superstar. It's in India.
So, Ant, name 10. Give me 10 IC title. IC title holders or IC champions that's better than Bret the Hitman Hart. SmackDown's going to be in India. Yeah, it's going to be India. So so I seen a promotion for it. I was like, yeah, they supposed to be in India this Friday. So we got another pay per view again.
Oh, wait a minute. I hope these not the matches.
Well, because I think it's just a touring.
So okay, if these are the matches, yeah. Okay, so it says WWE Superstar Spectacle 2023 will take place at GMC Balagoli Indoor Stadium in whatever Hyderabad, Telangana, India on September 8th. Follow here for spoilers information. So, so obviously this got to be wrong. This is undisputed tag team champs Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Indus Sher. Natalia versus Rhea Ripley for the women's world champion, and John Cena and Seth Rollins versus Imperium, Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser. That what kind? Yeah, I don't think that's the card. But then again, they haven't been promoting it either, so it might be some kind of. It might be something just for them. I don't. It may not even be televised.
Oh, you on the website?
Nah, I just googled the next premium live events, and that's what happened. That's what happened to come up.
Collectibles. It just took me to WWE shop. I just want to go to WWE website. WWE live events. Payback, No Mercy, Fastlane, Survivor Series. Yeah, so they're not even promoting it like that.
Yeah, not at all.
Unless it's like a live show or something. Okay, so Ant says my 10 are Triple H, HBK, Razor Ramon, RVD, Umaga, Jericho, Owen Hart. You chose Owen over Brett.
First off,
Jeff Hardy, and The Miz, and Shelton Benjamin.
And is extremely biased. There's no way you're putting Umaga, Jeff Hardy, or Shelton Benjamin over Bret Hart.
Okay. Now, if you said Shawn Michaels over Brett, I'm like, I could.
Razor Ramon was memorable.
Razor Ramon, yeah. RVD, Triple H, yeah. You said Triple H over Brett, I can understand. Because he had a classic match with The Rock, and then when he had a classic match with The Rock, and he was on his classic run with DX as the leader. So, okay. Owen Hart, Jeff Hardy, no. The Miz, yes, I could agree with The Miz, because The Miz, great on mic performer. Definitely his last runs with the IC belt was definitely like his best. Shelton Benjamin, in the beginning, because he was such a great in-ring performer, so I could be like, Owen Hart, nah. Umaga, nah. RVD, no, definitely not RVD. RVD was just like he was just a great wrestler with the belt versus actually a great wrestler who, because like Brett actually had great moments with the belt. Like the way he won the belt, I think the first time or the second time was when he beat Mr. Perfect in that like classic match.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like you know what I'm saying? Like Brett had a classic.
First time he beat Piper, I think it was the second time he beat Perfect. Because the first time,
right.
First time he beat Piper.
Yeah, so he had like 2 or 3 classics with the belt. Razor Ramon had two classic matches with HBK with the belt. HBK had 2 classics with Razor Ramon. You know what I'm saying? Who else? Triple H had a classic with The Rock. He had a great run with the belt when he was with DX. Jeff Hardy. No, as a matter of fact, Jeff Hardy had a great match with the Undertaker for the IC belt. No. I'm sorry, that wasn't for the IC belt. That was for the World Championship.
Yeah, I'm about to say I don't see
Wasn't.
Undertaker fighting for the IC title. Like that's
Yeah,
the him.
but yeah, I can't. I don't know.
Now,
It's a debatable.
speaking of the Miz, we
Yep.
have to give the Miz his flowers because on Raw, the Miz he outshine again. Like to sit here and have a whole interview by himself
By itself.
to say Cena was there,
As they see, it was there.
and then yeah, because you couldn't see him, and
You
then
can't see him, right?
for him to to have a fight with Cena and hit him with the Skull Crush finale, like
Right.
oh yeah, that Miz is money. I'm sorry, like I gain more and more respect for Miz every week.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. That's exactly. It's those moments like that is the reason why I like. Is the reason why I always said like when the Miz won Money in the Bank, I was super happy when I seen the Miz come out and I seen his mic performance. I seen his presence. I seen how he got out there and he was just being himself and he was able to just be comfortable being himself in front of the crowd. I was like, yo, that guy right there. I was like, if they push him right, they have a great superstar in their hands. But Vince ain't really handle him properly. DJ Faye says SmackDown is taped. He says this week it'll be taped. Then he says Judgment Day versus Indus Sheer, Veer Mahan, and Shane. Oh God, no. And says stand by that. He says stand by it. He says outside of Bulldog and Bret Hart, what else did Bret as an IC champ do as an IC champion? He had that classic match with Perfect. He had that classic match with Bulldog and Wimbledon. He also had a great match with Piper. I didn't see too much of I don't remember too much of Bret Hart's matches, but
Let me see.
like my memory has to be jogged to find like to look back. But Bret was one of the best IC belt champions we had. I mean Bulldog and Mr. Perfect. What else did he do as IC champion? And then you have Dolph Ziggler was a better IC champion than Bret Hart.
Mm.
I'm sorry, Bret Fart. In the words of Stone Cold Steve Austin, he said, if you put the letter S in front of Hitman, you got exactly what I think about him. that was hilarious. That was classic. Austin was a character. Yo. But yeah, shoot. Let's get to because we were like close to an hour. Let's get to so Gunther's making history. Speaking of IC champions, Gunther is making history. Had a great match, in my opinion, a 5-star match with Chad Gable. That was a great match on Monday Night Raw. A great way to close the show. One of the reasons why I fell in love with the IC division. My favorite intercontinental division, and it's hard to top, was when you had Chris Benoit, Kurt Angle, and Chris Jericho fighting for the IC title. Like that was one of the best, in-ring wars we had over the IC belt. Like the way those guys were going for that belt, it felt like a world championship. It was one of the best. It was like they took, they took that bar of how that championship should be warred over to another level. Even though they didn't get to hold it for long periods of times, it was just great matches that they were putting on. They were putting on some bangers, man. And then you have right. I'm sorry, getting back to what I was saying. So Gunther is breaking Honky Tonk Man's record. Don't forget Godfather. You need to stop. Stop. You need to stop. You're on a rampage right now. And Val Venus over Bret Hart as IC champion. You need to stop. You need to be stopped. Okay, you need to be stopped. You went on a rampage right now, and I can't allow this.
I'm shocked Jeff Jarrett and was it Dean? Who was Shane Douglas? Who was it? Dean Douglas
Dean
check
Douglas.
their names in China.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
right. Add Dean Douglas to the list as the greatest, one of the greatest IC champions. That's better than Brad. He had the belt for like what, an hour, 5 minutes. Oh my god! Hello, ladies. The best part with was when Chad's daughter cried and made the story better. Yeah, that definitely added a lot to it when they put the camera right on her face to see the tears, salty tears, run down her face as she watched her father get demolished in the ring. Damn near Gunther damn near killed the man. I was like, oh geez, like Gunther, take it easy. Um, how long do you think he's gonna hold the belt for?
um,
Oh, as a matter of fact, I got to bet that will I have that question, and then also, how do you think they're preparing him with that belt?
well, obviously they're setting him up because if, at some point he's gonna get tired of the Intercontinental title, and at some point he's gonna say, "You know, I'm tired of this belt. I want a better one." So of course, at some point he's gonna challenge Seth, and I feel like that's when Seth's gonna have his greatest challenge. Um, because like I said, if you look at down the Raw roster, like Raw has a lot of baby faces. Like they have more baby faces than heels. You know what I'm saying? So just unless Drew McIntyre turns heel, which I can see them doing, and him going after Seth because they have a lot of baby. They have too many. They have like maybe like a handful of heels with the rest of the roster baby faces. Jey Uso, um, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Ricochet, uh, Drew McIntyre. You know what I'm saying? Like the most of their roster are baby faces because obviously we know Judgment Day isn't really, you know what I'm saying. But Ant, I know you're gonna love this. So they said internally
Okay,
that LA Knight is listed as a top baby face on SmackDown right now.
okay. So, and says the Big Valboski has came and landed. The Big Valboski. He said, I heard they're bringing back the Authors of Pain.
Yeah, so I heard Authors of Pain have signed already. I've heard Carlito have signed. They just haven't. They don't know what to do with Carlito, and I believe Authors of Pain are going back to NXT first.
Okay, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here, I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. WrestleMania 40, right? This is the 40th WrestleMania, right? This is a mark. So WrestleMania 30 was big because it was the 30 year. You had WrestleMania with, with Daniel Bryan, how they set it up with Daniel Bryan fighting Triple H in the opening show, the opening match, and then you had um uh LA Knight. He's Ahmed Johnson.
You know what? Turn his mic.
Stop. He needs to stop. It's Ahmed Johnson's, but he needs to stop. But Mr. Botcher, he was like the biggest botcher around. Ahmed, they said he was terrible to wrestle with. He was like so unsafe. He would hurt a lot of wrestlers. Yeah. So I got it. So this is 40, right? The 40th Mania. They have to do something big, right? They have to have a big show. I think what's going to happen is Gunther is going to win the Royal Rumble, and he's going to challenge Seth Rollins to his title. And then, and he's going to hold on to the IC belt, and he's going to challenge Seth winner take all match, just like the Ultimate Challenge with Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan. And Cody, I think Cody, I don't know how, but Cody's gonna get back into that situation with Roman. I was reading some rumors online, and they were saying that they were fixing to try to set up Cody versus Roman. They said that's what was in the rumor mill. That's what was in talks, is to have Cody go back and feud with Roman because they need somebody. They want to continue the story with Cody, and Cody's the person that they have in mind for Roman at WrestleMania to have that rematch happen again.
Right, and it would make sense because once one of the Royal Rumble goes for their champion, You know what I'm saying? Like you said, Gunther wins it, he goes after Seth. That leaves Roman with no opponent. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
Cody's gonna, you know what I'm saying, pick finding of course he's gonna challenge him, and then Roman's gonna say, why? Well, I beat you last year. Why would I want to fight you again? And some, you know, then maybe the whole Jey Uso coming to Raw, you know what I'm saying? They could have him doing that, or that too. Cody
Mhm.
wins the Chamber, and you know what I'm saying, sets up Roman for the match with Roman. So that I mean that I can see that too. But somehow Cody, right? Somehow Cody is gonna fight. So you have Roman versus Cody too, and I mean, like you said, Gunther versus Seth. That would be money.
That's money. That's gonna be a dope match. Gunther versus Seth will be dope. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing them on the main stage. So Ant says the worst WrestleMania ever. So you don't want to see Seth versus Gunther? Uh Ant
He
Ant
doesn't
said
want to see Cody versus Roman again because he knows Cody's gonna win
yeah,
that.
I know, I know Cody being the main event would just spoil the whole WrestleMania for Ant. Ant is done with WrestleMania if Cody's in anything. Cody's Royal Rumble or the chamber next year. MJF just called out Samoa Joe. This is about to get real, especially after what happened and All Out. Please keep us yeah. Keep us updated. I should turn it on. Trav says I want to join. Send Trav the link, Jay, if you can.
We about to close up. All right, hold on.
Well, matter of fact, we about to close. So Trav, we're gonna close. We about to end in a few moments because it's like past an hour. And it says, so I just found out that that collision lost 89,000 views when they fired CM Punk last week. Well, yeah, of course, because collision is geared toward Punk.
In
That's crazy,
Chicago,
though.
no, All Out was
And
in Chicago.
in
Oh wait,
Chicago, and then
Collision was Punk's show, right?
it was Punk show. They did it. You had Collision, Dynamite, and Rampage, and Collision was made for Punk. But I had a conversation with somebody. As a conversation with somebody at my job, my coworker Michael, and he made a great point. He said um they should just turn whatchamacallit into Ring of Honor.
Go Collision. At
Yeah.
this point, it makes sense.
It makes a whole lot of sense because I'm like, he purchased the company, and I'm like, you don't see Ring of Honor on TV only when you see the champion fighting in AEW. So like, just turn
Right,
Collision to a whole Ring of Honor show.
right.
That makes so much more sense. Now they're gearing it to be Brian Danielson, Brian Danielson show. Why? Word. Is Punk called out? Wait, word. Is Punk called out Khan in front of, and Khan was not happy. So we'll get into that conversation tomorrow. I don't want to take away from Ant's discussion tomorrow, AEW, because we have a lot to cover tomorrow concerning AEW or AEW. Not really, I mean, just that whole Punk situation. But I do about the whole Punk situation is after him leaving, because this is WWE related. Do you think he's going to return? This is a question. Do you think that Punk is going to return to WWE?
No, he's like
Ring,
I mean, granted, there's a lot of matches that he would have that what I'm saying, fans will want to see.
mhm.
Um, there are, I mean, in WWE structure is a lot more stern and what I'm saying, more like firm than AEW's locker room is. But right now, Punk is viewed as a ticking time bomb, um, and I just don't see the locker room. You're saying obviously they watch wrestling, they hear what's going on with backstage with AEW with the two different fights, so I think that would kind of like put the tension in the locker room if you bring in Punk because a lot of people probably be like, yo, like I don't, we don't want this kind of drama. Now, I was reading an article. I think I shared it in the group, but I'm gonna resend it. I did
Okay.
an article that stated that Punk really wanted to go back to WWE. like when he was doing the whole backstage thing.
Right.
He really tried to go, and he desperately tried to go to AEW, WWE, but but WWE wouldn't bring him back.
Okay. I'm glad you mentioned that. Real quick. So Ring of Honor comes on Thursdays on YouTube. Exactly. Like why is Ring why is, listen, you got your champions from Ring of Honor coming on AEW and challenging AEW talent, and then they're part of a pay-per-view shows, and then part of your promotion is to have AEW. I'm sorry, because is to have Ring of Honor uh showcase their talent on YouTube. And it's like, so in order to see a Ring of Honor full show, we got to go to YouTube. Why don't you put them on national TV and grow the promotion itself? Not to say that there will be direct competition of AEW, but again, there'll be like a brother or a sister company, a brother or sister promotion, like as NXT is to WWE. You know what I mean? Like it won't be the NXT, but it'll just be, like you have AEW the promotion, you have Ring of Honor the promotion. There's just brother and sister. You know what I'm saying? And again, you have the cross branding of and they are legitimately two separate brands, but they were all acquired by. I mean, AEW was developed by the EVPs, and brought by and developed by Tony Khan, and then Ring of Honor was an indie promotion that was now purchased by Tony Khan. So those are two legitimate different promotions that were birthed out individually, and just have them cross brands. You know what I'm saying? Like but why not do that? Why not put why make it the Daniel Bryan's and son? Give us give us three AW shows. Why give us three AW shows when we already got two during the week, right? Two 2-hour shows, and just make Ring of Honor, just give Ring of Honor a TV spot on Saturday. Like, it doesn't make any sense. If any, it's bad booking. Um, he says we need to tune into this promo between Joe and Maxwell, because I know it got crazy. I know it got super crazy. And says MJF just told Joe he will not come back to NXT where he belongs, like he did William Regal. Wow. Um, and he says he's telling the story where he was a security job. He was a security job during Joe's run in NXT when Joe pushed him into the door.
I'm
Oh
about to go.
wow.
I'm about to go watch that promo.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta see this. Yeah, I gotta see this promo. I gotta see this. This is crazy. Um, what I wanted to say was shoot, jeez. Yeah, so what happened is, so the rumor got out. So once Punk, we all know Punk has been fired. Rumor got out that Punk was fired, right? The rumor is that, or what's been going around is that when WWE, or the rumor got out that people got wind that CM Punk may return to WWE, they said that most, or they said like, let me not give a percentage, but they said majority of the locker room said they did not want Punk to come to the company.
Right.
So Punk is in limbo. He's not in limbo because he can always go to TNA, or NWA. And then, this is crazy. Triple H would bring him back because it's good for business, but I don't think he'll put a belt on him.
He'll probably give him his WrestleMania match that he's been dying for. Well, it wouldn't be this year, but
Yeah, he'll probably give him his match. I'll be like, it's good for business. Let's bring him back for a match. Let's give him a good payday. Bring him back for a match. It's good for business.
the race is crazy. His first promo since leaving AEW, he's gonna have a lot of trash, a lot to say. So
right. I would want to bring him back, but then on the other hand, there's the other part of me that says, you know what? Let's not bring him back. Because as much, like, if I was in Triple H's shoes, as much good as I'm trying to do to extend the olive branch as I've tried before, I don't want this guy to come back and then he cuts up another promo on me, and then cuts another promo on a company, bashes everybody else to make himself look good or make himself look, and then you out here you know, just being toxic in every company you go to. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying. Punk is my guy, but again, there comes that time where you have to like you got to take accountability for just your bad decision making. But again, we'll get into that whole Punk situation tomorrow. Cena versus Punk for Cena's last match would be fire.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we know that. I mean, Cena versus Kurt for Kurt's last match would have been fire, but they
Would
went
right.
with Corbin.
Right, but Vince McMahon had better ideas. But you know what Vince McMahon said? He said, "Not this year, maybe next year."
Right.
What?
Try.
Maybe next year? What? He's like, Vince, I'm trying to retire, man. I don't have next year, Vince. My neck and my back. Vince was like, "You'll be okay." You're like, "No, Vince, it's not how this works." you know, you don't just say wrestle and then all of a sudden my health just goes back to 100%. That's not how it works, Vince. It's not how it works. But according to Vince, if Vince says it's okay for you to wrestle when you're not 100%, you will be 100% once he gives you the opportunity because he is Vince McMahon, right? Uh, Crazy. Crazy indeed. Well, I wanted to get into some Punk stuff, but we got to save that to tomorrow. Um, we are an hour and 11 minutes over. Uh, you got anything you want to share, Jay?
Nope. Nope. I'm gonna try to make it tomorrow.
All right. Because we got to talk about this Punk situation, and I already know like once we talk about that, we're gonna be talking about Punk and just talking about just Punk is gonna probably take up like maybe 30 to 45 minutes of the damn show talking about this guy, more than likely, which is not necessarily a bad thing, and which is not necessarily a good thing. Definitely concerning his state in wrestling, but it's crazy. But yes. All right, guys, if you guys are joining us, make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you guys are catching us for the rerun, drop a comment in the comment section below. Make sure you guys look for us or look us up on Facebook, Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. Join the group, join in the conversation, post your articles, join in the conversation. And catch us as we go live. We'll be posting it live, so you'll know exactly if you subscribe to the channel. What days we go live. Usually we go live on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Thursdays at 8 p.m. to cover AEW, and Fridays after SmackDown. So, guys, we thank you for joining us for another edition of Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. Signing off, I'm your host, Saheem the Dream.
It's your boy, the protege, J Mac Me.
And we will see you guys later. Peace to the Middle East.